Who are you? That is the real you. We shall see how they play with this exam by the koans to get you to come out of your shell and find out who you really are.
Hey, what's going on? Good afternoon. Been a long time. We're going to get right into this light message portion before we get started here. I am coming off the 5XL today, and I am going to also be on later on, but just a little quick up to speed for anybody tuning in the first time before I do get into the gameplay. There is a little bit of energy mediumship transmission that I like to include to kind of just give a little bit of network guidance as far as like vibrational guidance into the week ahead. So just to get right into that, this week we've kind of been at the calm of the lunar cycle still being in its first couple of like stages, phases, and all that. We went through the new moon in Scorpio, which was very like showing us the side of ourselves that has to come out when we don't, not that we don't want it to. This is the side of ourselves that is the opposite of the in the light portion of your I guess anima or id. It's the portion of yourself that says, hey, I'm here. This is my space. This is my, way of doing things. This is how I come into my own actions, my own plans, and that needs to be respected. That needs to be referenced with me and only me. Like it's instead of the father figure of the light, which is Christ Jesus, it's the mother figure of the dark, which is Kali. If you're familiar with Hindi religion, it's very much like, this is my world, my domain, this is me on the inside. So if you felt challenged or trespassed against these past few weeks, that was right there to kind of help you to maintain a safe space within your own vibrational patterns, because we're doing a lot of resetting and reculturing to meet goals and achieve things that are going to set up, tenfold for the future. So pat yourself on the back. You are at that point where you are taking those extra steps in the right direction. And so that new moon energy is kind of now waxing into the fullness of this next cycle. So we can start to actually interface with the world around us. This is paperwork. This is meetings, deadlines. All that's happening now. Like this retrograde that we're in until the 18th, Mercury retrograde, it's difficult to do those things. However, if you have the map of it all kind of laid out in front of you, it's not going to be. So just if you have an itinerary, stick to that itinerary. Don't do things out of order. Definitely don't do things out of alignment or out of anger, out of revenge, remorse. Always step forward in love, and when I say love, I don't mean like giving flowers or receiving chocolate. Love is attraction. Love is the influence that keeps the planets in alignment. Love is the way the world interacts with you and the way you are interfacing with the world. So when you're not interacting or interfacing with the world from a place of attraction or love, you are out of that alignment. And so things can become difficult because you're pushing against the grain of everything as it's coming at you. The daily overview, we are at like I said, the precipice of this new way of interfacing is creative change. If you're finding things are not taking traction, if you're tired of beating the drum of this isn't working for me and I'm not getting anywhere doing this, it's time to change your creative approach. Collaborate. It's time to talk with people around you that may have that key component that you're missing. So you won't know until you reach out. And again, don't make any self resolved from a place of resentment, a place of revenge. You're not out here trying to prove the world wrong because you are the world. It's your world. You created it. It's you at the forefront. It's you saying, "Here I am, and this is how I'm doing it." Again, you don't have to go into the whole deposition. Um, still though, we are in that retrograde. So remember to uh, approach everything, and you're trying to find this alchemy of how to recreate how you are. I'm sorry, how to recreate that creative process. Sorry, that was hard to say. um, but that's all self exploration. So again, it's all about coming in. It's you're not interfacing with a lot of stuff unless you have that itinerary, and unless you have dates attached to events, attached to deadlines that you're in the current wave of. I mean, I just had to send off for a bankruptcy dispute that I'm going against, a whole thing that goes way beyond. And it's not me. I'm not filing for bankruptcy. It's somebody that I'm trying to get money from filed for bankruptcy. So now I'm having to like file all these things. But again, I have a team, a paralegal team that's, taking care of all those deadlines. So I just have to be emotionally present because all of the paperwork stuff has already been done. Um, so the other thing that's kind of like in the air, and these readings are just for about 3 or 4 days, so it's nothing to live as by a creed or anything. Just know that the next few days, you're going to be feeling temporary separation. So it's not me versus the world so much, it's me departing from the world. It's me, hold on, my dog. That's what they do. um, so yeah, so it's that temporary separation. You're not of the world. The world is very much insane all the time because it's chaotic. It's natural. The natural order is chaotic. So just remember, divinely speaking, you are not chaotic. You are called into alignment because you are divine, sentient. Your mind, your mouth, your heart, your lungs. We strive for homeostasis or balance always. Um, so just know that it's time to separate the things that are making you feel chaotic, the things that are making you feel out of alignment. And these may not be things, these may be places, these may be people. That's not to say we should attach the label of, and I really don't resonate with people who say they are done with bad energy or people around them have bad energy. Um, it's kind of bad mouthing the whole vibrational state that you're in. If you're allowing all of that to come in and you're saying it's not my fault, it's them, then what responsibility or accountability are you taking for allowing that to come into your own life in your own vibrational field? So you have to say everything that's in my life is something that I asked for. Everybody that's in my life is something that I asked for. All the responsibilities that I'm taking on is something that I asked for, and I'm going to be there to provide the space of alignment for all of that to take manifestation into the real walking, waking life that we're in. Um, so again, uh, that's that temporary separation. So you may be away, right? When when the cat's away, the mice will play type of deal. But that's only going to be temporary. So let those around you find their own process, and don't be so hard on those around you as they are having to find their own process, because we can't be responsible for everything. We can't be responsible for everyone. We're not dictatorships within dictatorships. We're colonialist and we're capitalist. But that's just because we're both a product of being colonized and being the colonizer. So find yourself somewhere in the middle of that. That's a whole different conversation, though. This week, you can definitely feel as the day turns to night, you'll be feeling that sentiment. If you're single, this is going to translate into I wish I had somebody to share these cold nights with, that whole song and dance. So just know that that's temporary. Don't get a partner if you're not ready for a partner. Normalize staying single. Normalize not engaging in toxic, codependent relationships for the sake of just saying, I'm in a relationship or I found somebody. You don't need to be part of that whole, conglomerate, because it is a conglomerate. There's a lot of money to be made off of I'm cold and alone. um, which leads me to the next thing is emotional control. So as the day turns to night, and again, this is all night activity. Everything I was just expressing is kind of like for the sun's time in your walking, waking life. But when we go into night mode, we are, and if you work during the night, I'm not talking about I'm talking about when you're in your own space, who you become. Emotional control. Don't feel despair. Don't give in to my life is XYZ. Because as soon as you give that verbiage, even mentally, it becomes prayer. It becomes spoken reality. So you have to pull it back. And you get to pick the narrative. My life is amazing, awesome, evolving. I am healthy, thriving, aware. And if you don't have enough say so in your own reality to decide those things, it's time to again step back and do that self-searching, self-awareness, self-motivational self. It's time to focus on self. It's not about partnerships. It's not about collaborations. If you can't be there for you, you can't be there for anybody. You can't be happy with anybody if you're not there alone by yourself and happy that you are. Which leads to the me and you energy. So again, it's not about just f y'all unless it is about I'm about me and y'all can do what you want to do. Um, when you're there, you'll be there. So just make sure that as a mirror, you're not projecting your own insecurities into those relationships, into those coworker circles. That you're not projecting, faces onto them that despised you and hated you and wanted your downfall from like 2000 whatever, or 1990 whatever, 1980 whatever. Because we can do that. The worst thing you can do is look at somebody that you just met and say, you remind me of, because you've already written their entire story in your life and everything that they're going to be in your life, and you haven't even given them the chance. And even if that's you remind me of me, that's also dangerous. Don't do that. Other than that, just be prepared, because we do have in 1 week a full moon in Aries, which is cathartic release, which is loving what you are doing. It's very much, we are now in the vibe that's coming up, so it's going to be a really good ride from there to the next couple of weeks. And if you are already feeling that connection to your life's path and your life's passion, then you're already, on your surfboard. So just be out there in the world, in the waters of energy that we are swimming in, and just be happy that you're out there. And for those of us seeking something a little more transformative, that's also on the way, which is that new moon in Scorpio, which we just had before. So again, there's a lot of inner dialogue going on with the world right now in regards to many things, and the list can go on and on and on and on and on over what is on the mind of the individual and the mind of this planet at large. New moon, especially in Scorpio, begs the question, who are you when nobody is looking at you? Because that part of yourself is what makes you interesting, what makes you attractive, and what is that charisma that people are seeking from you is who you are when you are alone. Again, the father side of us, which is Christ Jesus, and the mother side of us, which is Kali. Okay? And if you don't know who Kali is, uh, Google her. I think that you will find she is nothing like that. You know, Jesus, hand on your heart, here till you die. No, 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 no. She's got her foot on the manifested world, which is her husband, and she has swords in every one of her hands, and she's here to fight. And so you have to calm that energy out and comb it, because we're neither good people nor are we bad people. We're just people. We came from nothing. We'll turn to nothing. And that's not to speak on any kind of theological standpoint. Your religion's your religion, and what you hold true is what you hold true. A lot of these theologian words that I use are just there to create abstracts and give a kind of illustration verbally to the point I'm getting across. Anyways, on that note, I'm going to get into the actual gameplay. Speaking of gods, and I'm going to be playing my next installment of Actorizer Renaissance, which was a choice, but I like it. I think it's like the design is nostalgic and new, so I'll be back with that in just a minute.